Okay, let's talk about marma therapy and tantric healing next.
Okay, so phase two, after we leave the world of shamanism, we go into tantric transformational healing.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to have two major components. One of them is going to be open to the public. That's a marma healing course. So in Tantra, we have the understanding that the body is full of energy channels and networks of nexus of these channels where points are and so forth. And that, as my tutor, Dr. Ladd, who taught me marma therapy, would say, marma points are the place where consciousness and vitality are most actively expressed and accessed in a human being. So the marma points are very powerful for getting into deep organ healing, getting into deep psychological, emotional healing, basically entering deep into the system of the person underneath all of the armoring, underneath all of the resistance and all the rest of it. So we're going to go into that for probably take 3 or 4 days for a good marma healing program to do. And that will involve learning all the points, learning their indications, trying to locate them, putting little dots on each other to try to locate them. It's a lot of fun. And then learning what we call flows, basic marma therapy sequences to use for different conditions. And then later, depending on your Ayurveda knowledge, you can start to put together your own sequences once you know the points.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like herbal formulas. You know, you want to use the right herbs and the right formula so that it covers all the bases of that person. Same thing with the marma therapy formulas. You also learn the science of the energies of the fingers, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, that kind of thing, and which one you use when, what are the qualities of the fingers with the 5 elements, how to use that in there. You also learn what kind of essential oils are best to use for what kind of conditions on which marma points. So that's that aspect. And as I said, that retreat or module is open to the general public because you don't have to be in the apprenticeship to use that. And, you know, it can be used for like massage therapists who want to take their massage practice to a deeper level. It can be used for Ayurveda people who want to get more hands-on and don't want to just be doing kind of Ayurvedic naturopathy, giving herbal formulas to people, and so on, for chiropractors and physical therapists, and so a lot of utility there. For the people who are involved in long-term with the Body of Light Healing program, which starts out and has a real trajectory, you know, starts out with shamanism and has a real trajectory all the way into the light body, basically. Over 3 or 4 years, we'll take that journey together, maybe even 5 years. The marma therapy has a different role, has a different place in there of moving you into a deeper connection to the energy system and the psyche of a person that you're working with and making a subtle change, a subtle level change. There's marma therapy where you push really hard on the marmas, like a deep tissue thing. Ours is not. Ours is all about the practitioner developing themselves as the healer, developing their energy, and the marma point therapy then becomes a bridge to accessing the psyche and the energy of the person. So we don't push in really hard. It's not meant to be deep tissue body work. We have the mott for that, and we have the lomi for that. All that's covered if that kind of healing is necessary. Not that lomi is about fixing physical problems, but it does that too, right? This is on a much more subtle level. Now, the other thing we focus on in Light Body Healing Program at the Tantric level of healing, Tantric Yoga level of healing, the transformational phase of healing, is assistance from gods and goddesses, enlightened gods and goddesses, for the healing. So the same way that we had assistance by the 5 elements and the spirits and so forth in the shamanic level, yes. Now we move into a deeper level of assistance from enlightened gods and goddesses. And in this case, you will receive the empowerment and the practices of the medicine Buddha, of protectors, powerful protectors that are also known to give great healing, like Sijijalpo, and from the Bun tradition, and Kali from the Shakta Shaiva tradition. And in that, there are shamanic elements to that kind of healing that you learn from them. Yes, there's the mantra repetition, the visualization, but it's more visceral than that in the real tantric yoga systems, where you'll have a sacred sword. I'll show mine and demonstrate how to use it. It's a kris from Bali that was made just for me to use for this purpose. And you will learn how to purify and strengthen the sacred sword when you go to do the rituals with the deity's power, and it enters you and the sword, and then how to trace the nadis in the body for the nadis you need to open, and how to push into the points, not pierce, but add pressure with the tip of the sword into these points where you're channeling the energy. It's like marma points that are run by the gods, you could say, through the agency of the semi-trance state you're in, through becoming that god or goddess during your practice, and then picking up the sword as an extension of that god or goddess and using it to cut away. And so this is that shamanic part of it, right? As well as in the shamanic level, we do, I didn't talk about this much, what we do with the fire and the water and the elementals, but the water healing is, you'll bathe the person in the water, they'll drink the water, they'll often throw it up spontaneously once they drink this purified, sacred water, Same thing in the shamanic level, in the Tantric Yoga transformational level. Sometimes we'll use the elements again, bathing with the water, drinking the water, eating some sacred foods that were blessed by that deity, using fire, passing fire around the body and so forth. All these things we see in normal tantric ritual and puja, but we don't usually understand how they're used in tantric ceremony. And in that level of the tantric phase of healing, I would like to also teach the ceremony of soul retrieval. It's called ransoming, where you take an effigy of the person or of the illness or whatever, and you imprison it or you kill it, you pull it out of the person's body and you put it in here and you put it in a little cage, and there's all these different methods that are used to accomplish this in the ancient systems of tantric yoga healing that came out of shamanism. The tantric yoga part just makes them so much more powerful.